Kia ora Libra. Thanks for joining me. New moon in Aries. This is your reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Thanks for joining me. What else? Check out your other, like the moon, your ascendant, Venus and Jupiter, if you know what they're in, or any titles that stand out for you. And thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Comments, likes, all of that. Great stuff. So let's get into it. Libra, we're coming out here with one of those cards. We're using the Thoth deck. 9 of Wands. We see in this card there's a wonderful tension here with the 9th wand. Now that can be quite productive. It can be quite helpful. In a lot of decks, this 9 of Wands is really about, the wounded warrior kind of scenario archetype where we're making defensive, we're constantly in defense. In the Thoth deck, I don't really get it. I don't get that. This card is called Strength, and it's almost as if there's a stalling. We have those 8 of Wands in the background, all about speed and communication. Then we have the central wand, the 9th wand, which creates, as I said, a level of tension. We're looking at between lunar, solar, those rhythms. There's a tension here and a kind of stalling or suppressing for a time before then it's like, I do see a slingshot, that tension, pulling it back, and then boom, it shoots off. It shifts and it changes. Tension, internal tension, can be very productive. And indeed, there is a motion through here. We do go through and clarify with some other decks. There's a process through this storyline. We've got the Ace of Discs. Be getting played out in your material world. There might be things that are just about to take off, but it's that last tension moment. The beautiful thing here is that there's an opening, there's a gift coming through. It's going to allow an ease of flow. Ace of Discs. Everything that is abundant in this world, it's an opening, it's a chance, it's a piece of luck, if you believe in luck. It's synchronistic and it's potentially coincidental, but there's a big shift, movement coming through here. We'll find out more when we clarify. Speaking of flow, we've got the 10 of Wands. This tension, this carrying of something until it's released is a burden in one sense. And so we see the 10 of Wands called oppression in the Thoth deck. We know when we get to this point, in Malkut, we look at the 10s, it's presented in our real physical world. We know it's time to get rid of something, for something to shift, to change, to move on. So I guess it's like any burdens, any weighty moments. We know it's going to move. It's going to be released. And then we have adjustment, which is justice. Libra, it is really you, the balancing of those scales in justice. That's our end point, or that's our goal. There's no real end point. So let's see. We'll clarify with Morgan Greer. I think a lot of people are always familiar with the Morgan Greer deck. So we're looking at the 9 of Wands for Libra, please. Yeah, it feels like, you know that feeling Eight of Swords. Oh, we're limited here. We can actually be proactive in making movements and action, but we're not psychologically sort of ready. We still feel that somehow we're being restricted here, Libra. Yet the figure, of course, is not bound at all. All the eights are about the mind, the power of the mind. You've got to give 10 points to critical thinking. I think that's something that people possibly aren't being taught much these days. Okay, we're not really focused. We've got the 10 of discs coming out. I'm going to put that under the 8 of Swords. I would say, because we have to keep narratives along a particular storyline here without going off on a tangent, or 5. We're looking at familial stuff for you, Libra. This 10, again, everything's been seen in the external world, in the physical. 10 of discs, familial inheritance, that being in terms of finances, people, wealth. It's all in the wealth zone, isn't it? But also what we've been taught, our loyalties and our values. Some of those we change over time. We let go of the tribal norms. Let's look at the next card, which is the Ace, the beautiful Ace of Discs. Wow. Look, there's a richness in here. There's a need to let go of something, yeah. But we've got the Ace to clarify the Ace. It is about loyalties, something in here. It is about family, about where we come from, whether we're connected or whether we're not. We get this gift. We have 2. A gift of energy, of fueling our emotional world and also our physical, material world also. 10 of Wands. Somewhat oppressive feeling. There's a need here to keep a good balance for you, whatever that is for you, Libra. 10 of Wands, we're about to shed what has become. We're unable to carry on carrying it, as it were. 7, assessments. We're looking back to see what we put our energy into, what we got out of that, because we have to assess that. This is energetic as it is as much in the material world. Energy, energetics. That's what it's all about. Energetics and power, isn't it? Did we lose something when we look back in certain situations? Did we give that up a little bit? Power, that is. And we also have the Knight of Wands, a compulsive character. A question of honesty here. I don't know why I get that, but a question of being true to yourself. Being yourself, to, what is it? To be, to thine own self be true. We are then true to others, is it not? Because there's a shape-shifting element to this card also, and it's impulsive. It's actually compulsive. Fire of fire, it needs fuel. It literally needs drama, because the basis of this Knight is very much heavily weighted in reactive behaviours. Interesting. It's all about balance. We are also possibly needing to look inward here for a little bit. It does seem the case. Because there is a flow in this storyline. There is a release, and it's how would you say? It's appropriate and right. But there's a period of looking inward with the Hermit here, shining a light within. Of course, it's winter here. That's a great time to do that. We're looking at adjustment. We're looking at justice, the scales, the bearer of the scales. Timing is a big deal here. Temperance, alchemy, divine timing, all of that stuff. It's not our time, it's something more than that. Before possibly we see more of a balance in our world, there might be messages. There is some kind of message coming through for some Librans out there in regards to an understanding here of what you're actually moving through and what you're moving into. We've got the page. This is slow, but it can be about receiving messages, but it's slow release. It's a process that's not actually within your control, but you are in your control. And the messages or message or new understanding that comes through allows you to easily allow this to pass. Often we feel, sometimes Libra, that things are actually passing through us, whatever those things are. They might be things that herald a new way of doing something, a new way of being in some small way. But sometimes we get that feeling, I'm sure some of you have recognise that things pass through us and we allow that in its own time. We've got the 10 of Swords here. This is a wonderful card. Don't misconstrue it. There's an understanding. This comes from a pretty good review, amongst other things in here. So we have this understanding. We're at the end of the soup. Just like that 10 of Wands, we get the 10 of Swords. We're at the end of the soup. Things are moving, and like it's like dropping off you as you move through this. You might not feel that currently. Things are moving slowly. Timing is not yours alone in a material sense. I love the 10 of Swords. It's a wonderful card that heralds a penny dropping right down and through that slot machine, and at the end of it you get a packet of nuts or a bag of chips. You know what I mean. Something new comes from this. It's a new understanding. Let's get a Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairy Libra to get a, this is all about balance. Holism is the new ism. That's all I can say, because it so is. All right, we get the Singer of Healing, a big kahuna here. Singer of Healing. It's happening. For some of you, as I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Unity, holism, balance. That's what this reading's all about. So whatever's going on for you, Libra, at the moment, it's something an amazing new understanding is passing through. We've got 3 tens in this storyline, and we start with the 10 of discs. This is part of it, you know, shining that light within our own history, our family, our inheritance, whether that's inheritance of behaviours, attitudes, whatever it is. There's a little jewel that comes. Let's see what jewel in the rock mineral crystal comes for you. We have one of my favourite stones, the emerald. Unconditional love, beauty, recovery, and healing past lives, or healing family. Beautiful. On that note, thanks for joining me, Libra. Enjoy this beautiful new moon in Gemini, fellow air sign, and have a wonderful week. Ka kite.